Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2017 Cadillac CT6 Platinum. Up front is a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this CT6 for several reasons, but mainly the fact that this is kind of a sleeper car. It looks like a regular CT, CTS, CT6, whatever, but it has a twin turbo V6 under the hood. It is all-wheel drive, and the Platinum has some very, very nice features that I'm excited to share with you today. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3-liter twin turbo V6. Well, two things are very interesting about that. First of all, we still see a similar engine here in the CT5V Blackwing in 2025. So very, very cool to see that Cadillac has stuck with this engine in this drivetrain for quite some time. The second thing is the fact that this was kind of more to compete with European competitors. Throughout the 2000s and into the 2010s, Cadillac really started to feel the heat from BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and so they kind of tried to copy them, and you'll see that with the interior and the interior features, but also with their engine choices. Gone are the days of the big lazy V8, and here is a sport-tuned 3-liter twin-turbo V6, much like the supercharged V6 of Audi or the turbocharged inline-6 of BMW. So that's kind of where those roots came from. Now I'll put the horsepower up on the screen. It's up above 400, and so that is a very nice thing to see. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. Unfortunately, they did not offer these in manual, but later the CT5V Blackwing and CT4V Blackwing could be had with a manual transmission. Last but not least, as I mentioned, this is all-wheel drive, although you could find CT6s in rear wheel. How does it feel to drive? Well, it's a very luxurious experience, but it is that sort of sport luxury that's different than Cadillac of the 90s. This actually feels like it could handle a corner. This feels like it could turn on a dime where older Cadillacs really couldn't. So that was something different, and that was something that luxury buyers wanted more of. They wanted that car that they could take to the country club, but also cut up a canyon. And so that's what Cadillac tried to offer. That's how it feels. It's a lot more rigid than other Cadillacs, especially Cadillacs of the past. Visibility is okay. You do have somewhat thick A-pillars. Ride quality is good, just stiffer than what would normally be thought of for Cadillac. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have digital gauges. Back in 2017, this was definitely nice to see and have. We have a tachometer off to the left, speedometer in the center, and of course, you can customize all of this. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our cruise control, as well as lane keep assist and pre-collision warning, and off to the right, we have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as volume and skip track. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, power parking brake, gauge dimmer switch, and head-up display adjustments. And moving on to the door, we have our power seat adjustments and our massage seat. So we do have massage seats here in the CT6. Absolutely love that. Memory seats down below. Then we have our power locks, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a pan-array speaker as well as our giant infotainment display. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and I like it. It's actually pretty clear. It still feels very modern, which can't always be said about cars that have aged 8 years. So definitely very nice to see that it still looks modern. Here's the backup camera in case you're curious. This was one model year before backup cameras were legally required. Down below, we do have our volume slider. This is one of the worst parts of this era of Cadillac. They switched to volume sliders instead of dials, and I just don't like how they operate. Down below that, though, we do have our climate controls. We do have dual zone climate, 2 climate vents, and we have heated and ventilated seats, which are all amazing to see, especially on this warm day. Then we do have the shifter off to the left, pretty standard style shifter here from Cadillac, although they started to move towards a more BMW styled one seen here. This is actually a lot better in my opinion, more traditional. And off to the right, we do have cup holders. We'll do a big friggin' bottle test, but very predictably, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do have a trackpad. This allows you to select things in the infotainment. Not very useful, but it is touchscreen as well, so just do that. And then we have buttons for our auto holding brake, traction control off, and mode. We do get a wireless phone charger in the center and a little center console. The seats are very comfortable. As I said, they're heated, ventilated, power, memory, and massaging, so anything you could want out of a modern day seat, this Cadillac has. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, and it's even more luxurious back there. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the CT6 Platinum, and a couple of things to note. First of all, I do have cup holders down here. I have this giant center console with these Cadillac branded headphones. Absolutely love that. That is really cool, but those headphones are directed towards the screen. I do get a screen in front of me. Very, very cool here. And part of that nice Platinum package, we do have dual zone climate down in the center. So both passengers, both rear passengers, can choose their own climate. On the door, I do have heated and ventilated seats, and I get rear massaging seats, something that Rolls-Royce, even in modern day, does not give you. Cadillac gave you in 2017 in a CT6 sedan. That is absolutely wonderful. This is a great place to be. I can also control the rear sunshade from the push of a button, and my own sunroof shade right over here by the push of a button on the door. So hit it once, there you go. Absolutely love that. We can put the sunshade back down as well. Really, really cool tech back here. That is so exciting and very, very cool from Cadillac. Speaking of Cadillac though, they're known for their big trunks, so let's hop around back and do a trunk review. So on the key fob, we do have a button here to hit it twice, and it is a power operated trunk. Once we are back here, absolutely lovely. We do have some really cool CT6 things. The original brochure, I don't even know if they still do brochures. Everything is going digital. We have a Cadillac branded blanket. Really, really cool. The official GM product, you can see that here. And then this is the original window sticker at $89,240. So not necessarily a bargain at the time. Now they're kind of a bargain, but very, very cool to see all of that. The trunk space is pretty adequate for a Cadillac. Now, Cadillacs of yesteryear used to be able to fit a family of 5 relatively comfortably in the trunk. Those days are kind of over from crash protection and all the tech that they put into it, but still a very, very good sized trunk from the Cadillac name, of which I would expect. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and honestly, I think this is one of the worst parts of the car, not because it's particularly ugly, but just because it's so unassuming. You saw in the back seat all those great features, and even up at the front, all the great materials, Panerai sound system, that twin turbo V6, all of that is wonderful, and then you look at it, and it just looks like a car that your grandma would take to bingo every once in a while. So, I wish that it was a little bit more aggressive, but then again, they had the V products for that, so I guess this was kind of not necessarily a middle ground, but a little bit tamer if that's sort of your style. I personally just want people to know when I drive something cool, so it's a downside for me. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the CT6 Platinum from 2017? This car is absolutely lovely. It honestly fires on all cylinders in all categories. Luxury, it has massage seats, ventilated seats, great screen resolution, good tech, nice materials. In performance, it has that 3-liter twin-turbo V6. It has all-wheel drive and a fast-shifting automatic transmission. It still feels modern 8 years later, and that's not always a given. If they put this out on the showroom floor today, I would say, yeah, that's a Cadillac that works. And again, you can't say that about everything. So, very, very nice. This is a complete package that I'm not sure many people knew about. And so today, I wanted to do my due diligence and share it with you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Richard for letting me borrow his CT6 Platinum for today's video. Richard has been absolutely wonderful. I've reviewed several of his Cadillacs. He is a Cadillac connoisseur, and it's people like him that make my world go round. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.